What's going on, y'all? Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the cash app's at the top right corner of the video. But let's get into it, man, because this Nike, Nocta, Drake situation has become a very, very interesting situation as I've been doing a little bit of digging. So this situation had grew to be really strange after I looked up a little bit more information about what's been going on with Drake and Nike. Now, Drake, like I said in the last recent video, he is signed to Nike, or he has a deal with Nike with a shoe and with the brand of Nike called Nocta. And when Skepta did his interview, everybody found it strange how he was talking about how this beef affected or could have affected Drake and his deal that he has with Nike due to the allegations that Kendrick Lamar was throwing at him. Everybody thought it was weird that he was talking about Nike. And I just looked up a little bit more information about Nike and Drake, and I found something very interesting. And this is what I found. Officials find up to $7 million in stolen products during raid at Torrance warehouse, LAPD says. Torrance is in LA. Nike shoes and store display. LAPD sees millions of dollars in stolen products believed to be Nike sneakers in a raid of a warehouse in Torrance. Like I said, Torrance is in LA. There was up to $7 million worth of stolen products in LA around late June of 2023. So this is before the beef. This wasn't during or after. This was before the beef even started. But it will make sense in a second because the Los Angeles Police Department on Wednesday seized millions of dollars worth of stolen merchandise believed to be Nike sneakers during a raid of a warehouse in Torrance. Alfonso Lopez, police captain of LAPD's Commercial Crimes Division, said that the merchandise was linked to several cargo trucks that had been stolen from a facility near Port of Los Angeles. He said the cargo trucks thefts occurred over a certain period of time, but would not disclose further details because he said it would impede in their investigation. Now, the shoes and apparel heist are multi-million-dollar problems for Nike. In April of last year, Los Angeles County Sheriff's detectives arrested a suspect, Julian Gutierrez, in connection with the robbery at Nike store in East Los Angeles, as well as multiple grab-and-go retail thefts. Safe to say that the situation with Nike and theft going on in LA has been a very, very big issue. Multi-million dollar problem. Lopez said that the thieves made off with the merchandise from at least 9 cargo trucks. 9 cargo trucks, bro. This is not just some petty operation grab and go, even though they are having issues with grab and go theft. 9 cargo trucks is crazy, bro. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of shoes. That's a lot of merchandise. Just picture 9 cargo trucks full of Nike. Investigators from various law enforcement agencies tracked the stolen merchandise to a warehouse in Torrance, and they're using a warehouse to keep the stolen goods. A whole warehouse, bro, where a search warrant was served Wednesday evening. Lopez said investigators recovered stolen product from 6 of the 9 containers. So there's still 3 containers out there that they haven't been able to get a hold of. Probably sold it already, allegedly, right? He said the value of the merchandise ranged from $4 million to $7 million. Citing police sources, KCBS TV Channel 2 said the boxes recovered at the warehouse contain Nike sneakers. Now, this is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. These are the images that trouble you. Now, these are the images that they were showing that were stolen from the cargo. But you see here, it says style DM0879. That's the name of the shoe. You could Google this serial number and it's going to take you to what shoe is in this box. You know what shoe is in this box with this serial number? DM0879. Well, let me show you. It's Drake's sneaker. So Drake's sneaker got stolen. Drake's sneaker was in all those shipping containers, or at least in the shipping container that they seized from the truck. And it's the same ones. This is the sneaker that Drake had a collaboration with Nike with. And it appears that when it landed in LA, It got stolen. Now, like I said, this is before the beef. However, this I can't say is related to Kendrick Lamar and the beef that, because this has been an ongoing beef. Even though they beefed in 2024, it appears that this beef goes back decades. Now, I can't say that anybody from Kendrick's, I can't say that anybody from Kendrick's camp is responsible for this. I really doubt it, because people robbing in LA, people robbing stores in LA has been a common thing since the end of the pandemic. With the whole pandemic and everything like that, things have just been getting worse in LA when it comes to theft. I mean, realistically, so I can't just put that on Kendrick Lamar and say that he's responsible for this. However, this could spark controversy within Nike and Drake as well. Now, it's not Drake's fault that his shoe gets stolen or property gets stolen. You know, that's more so like of a random issue that they have no control over. But 9 cargo trucks is insane, bro. I can't express how crazy that is for 9 cargo trucks to get stolen. Now, like I said, this is before the beef, but this could be the start of issues that Drake has with Nike. Even though it's something that he can't control and Nike can't control, this becomes an inconvenience for them, because it was up to $7 million that this product could have been worth that got stolen from them. And they were only able to obtain 6 cargo trucks, meaning that they lost a whole 3, that they don't know what happened. They don't know if it was sold already, or they don't know if they just couldn't find it. But they lost 3 cargo trucks that they weren't able to obtain. I just wanted to shout out HHSB crew, bro, because he's the one that kind of like put me on to looking up the serial number. So shouts out to bro. Now, going to the situations that happened during the beef. Now, during the beef, nobody is buying Drake's new Nike shoe after his beef with Kendrick Lamar. Now, this became another issue that occurred with Nike and Drake. However, this one involved Drake directly. When Drake got into a beef with Kendrick Lamar, he was expected to have a shoe release, another Nocta shoe that was supposed to be released with the collaboration of Drake. However, when the shoe came out, it came out during the beef. The beef was the only thing that people cared about. The beef was the only thing that people cared about when it came to Drake. Nobody cared about Drake's shoe. Nobody cared about when it dropped. Nobody cared about his releases. This is something we established in the last video. When you're as big of a star as Drake has been for the last decade, plus getting into a rap beef comes with a ton of risk. Many people and brands have invested millions of dollars into Drake's talent and career. That's not just the case on the music side. Brands like Nike have endorsed the Toronto pop star through the years. Right now, that endorsement isn't looking good. That's what we were talking about. Kendrick Lamar has seemingly done the impossible and turned the public against Drake, leading more to than 1 million dislikes on his latest response record, The Hard Part 6. Now, the key part of this article is the endorsement isn't looking good. This is going back to what Skepta was saying. So now, if we could just get everything lined up, you have Drake's shoes who got stolen. 9 cargo trucks were stolen. In those trucks was Drake's collaborative shoe with Nike, Nocta. That happens. They probably couldn't recoup the money that they lost from the shoe being stolen. And then Drake gets in the middle of the beef. Now Drake becomes part of this beef, and now it's affecting him and his endorsement with Nike. And then Skepta is talking about how Kendrick Lamar pushing those fake allegations could have hurt Drake and his Nike and other deals and scared away potential partners that want to do business. Now, I don't believe that Nike is scared to work with anybody else. I think that Nike could always work with any other part. I think that Nike could work with anybody that potentially wants to be a partner with them if they're willing to. I think that he just threw that in there just to get the general public to agree with him. Realistically, the only thing that I could prove is that he's had issues with his shoe being sold through Nike with his collaborative deal, from people stealing it in LA. Of all places, LA is the place where the shoe is getting stolen. I'm not saying it's related to the beef. This happened before the beef, but just LA being responsible for Drake having issues with his shoe being sold since the beginning of the beef is one thing. The second thing is that when he participated in the beef, nobody cared about buying his shoe. So now we have a time where Drake's shoe was stolen and Nike missed out on 7 mil. Nike missed out on 7 mil. And then in the middle of the beef, it affected Drake so bad that nobody cared to buy his new Nike shoe. Now they couldn't recoup when they lost the shoe, when the shoe was stolen, and they couldn't recoup during the beef. Now, if it's June 23rd, where all this happened, where the shoe was stolen, $7 million worth of cargo, and then the beef takes place on May 9th, not even a year after the $7 million worth of cargo and Drake's sneakers were lost, not even a year later, they put another shoe out, and then it doesn't do well again. It doesn't do well again. Not even a year later, May 9th, this article came out. So this is just letting you know that this is the second time or another time where Nike and Drake failed to reach the sales that they wanted. Now, I say this because now we have a time where Drake didn't sell shoe, where Drake's sneaker didn't sell good in 2023 because of the loss of shipment, because of the theft in LA, of all places, just saying. And then we have Drake, who beefs with Kendrick Lamar, and nobody cares about the shoe because they're only focused on the beef. Ain't nobody buy that. Ain't nobody want that. Every shoe size at this time was still available during the beef. So when Skepta says this, it makes me feel like it's not just Kendrick being responsible. It's not Kendrick pushing fake allegations that could have hurt Drake and his Nike deal. It's more than just that, because now you have a time, not even a year has passed since he got into this beef where his shoe did bad. Before that, he had the shoe. The shoe didn't sell well. The shoe was stolen. They missed out on money. Now, I can't confirm how Nike feels about this, but if I was Nike and if I was having issues with Drake's shoe last year in 2023 because people were stealing them, I would be like, oh, well, I mean, we couldn't control that. It is a lot of money, but we're $1 billion company. So let's see if we could recoup by making another shoe and releasing it next year. Not even a year later, he gets into a beef, and then people are calling him, a PDF file and things like that. And then because of this beef, nobody buys the shoe again. So if I was an owner of $1 billion company, I would probably think, well, we couldn't recoup the first time. Now the second time around, not even a year later, we're having an issue because now he's in a beef with Kendrick Lamar and nobody wants to buy the shoes when he's being called that. I think, in my opinion, all alleged, that Skepta probably knows something that we don't. He might know a little bit more, because why out of all the brands would he bring up Nike? Now, we'll find out in the near future if Nike is still having the collaboration with Drake through that brand Nocta. Now, another interesting thing that I wanted to bring up about Nocta is the situation with Nocta and what it's dedicated to. Now, remember in the last video when I told you that Drake dedicated Nocta golf collection to his uncle, one of his idols? Says just hours ahead of the launch of his Nocta golf collection, Drake took to Instagram where he dedicated the gear to his uncle, Stephen Sher. Now, what ended up happening is that people went online, they looked up Drake's Nike collection, they looked up Stephen Sher because he had referenced Stephen Sher, his uncle. A lot of people did a lot of digging, and they wanted to find out, well, who is Stephen Sher? A lot of people couldn't find out much about Stephen Sher, but they found out a couple things. Once people found out who Stephen Sher was, being that it was Drake's uncle, people tried to find out, well, what does he have to do with anything? And why is he such an inspiration to Drake? He might have been one of those people that could have inspired Drake to be an entrepreneur. because it appears that his uncle has always tried to do these type of ventures where he's tried to be an entrepreneur himself. Stephen Sher has filed for patents to protect the following inventions. The listings include patent applications that are pending, as well as patents that have already been granted by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Stephen Sher was an inventor of some sorts for a child booster and an infant cushion. These are the patent numbers, and these are the patents by inventor Stephen Sher. Now, this was a listing for both products that he was an inventor of. So basically, he was trying to make a booster seat for kids and an infant cushion for kids. This was kind of like his first. This was kind of like his first invention. But before you think he was just a guy trying to invent something for a quick buck. Now it says here, Jupiter Industries happens to be Canada's only manufacturer of mattresses for cribs. These are made on behalf of the Beauty Rest and Simmons Mattress. Look at the Wayback Machine. However, it appears that back in 2002, they were making car seats called the Crazy Cruiser, as well as mattresses. There is also a LinkedIn page for Stephen Sher stating that he is the CEO of Jupiter Industries. At some point, they also had added pet products to their lineup, presumably around 2003. So they had car seats for babies and pet products. Yeah, you know where this is going. All information about domain owners has been redacted, removed from the public database. So I could not find any info about who owns the building or anything. Looking into the company, it is basically a warehouse hidden away. You can't get any good angles of the building from Google Maps. You are able to see inside in some Twitter posts showing that they have an office with customer service and things like that. It seems like a legitimate business. However, the IG is weird. There are very few posts and even fewer comments, and all the comments are from foreigners from overseas looking to collab and stating that they sent a DM. The only real comment I saw, however, was interesting. It was a woman saying that she was unable to get a hold of anyone at the company. I also have noticed none of their products have any reviews anywhere they are sold. They are listed at various Canadian websites, but it doesn't look like anyone has actually purchased them. Maybe I'm wrong. That person goes to say, holy shit, except from October 13, 2007, about the company from Jupiter Industries. Remember, this is Stephen Sher, Drake's uncle's alleged company. Our company, Jupiter, started in Toronto in 81 when the CEO was asked by his father, Reuben Sher, to pioneer a new sleep product for his grandchildren. The result was the first dust mite resistant mattress ever made. Being ahead of our time has always been a still and is the basic principle in our company. Innovative products with purpose is now our mandate. A period of rapid growth followed from our first entry product as the company expanded into full range of crib mattresses. Since that time, Jupiter has become Canada's #1 mattress and manufacturer, and probably is the reason why Drake looked at his uncle as an entrepreneur. Now, before you ask, well, why or how can you prove that this is Drake's uncle that we're reading about with these kid cruisers, these baby seats, these car seats, and these pet products? How can we prove that this is Drake's uncle? Now, if you see here, it said was asked by his father, CEO, which is Stephen Sher, was asked by his father, Reuben Sher, to pioneer a new sleep product. Well, if you take a look here, there's a place, like I said, called Sher Club by Drake, designed by Faris Rafali. Faris Rafali is the man who designed the Embassy, Drake's home in Toronto. The Sher Club is a club that's located in Toronto that is managed by Stephen Sher. If you read the first sentence right here, the moniker of the club, Sher Club, named after Drake's maternal grandparents, Reuben and Evelyn Sher, pronounced Sher. My bad. Reuben Sher and Evelyn Sher. Now, if you take a look here, what did it say right here? Was asked by his father, Reuben Sher, to pioneer a new sleep product for his grandchildren. So that has to be Drake's uncle. It has to be. And it says right here at the bottom, Drake's grandpa is Reuben. The About the Company section was removed in April of 2009. The information that we read at the top. Drake's first mixtape was released in February 2009. pet stages did not seem to have any useful info other than the fact that they specialize in controlling pet behavior. But an interesting note, Steve said that the Wolfopedic about a section that he had 5 dogs, one of which is a German Shepherd named Ruby. Since Drake's dog is named Diamond, I wonder if that is a homage. We have proven Drake's uncle started all of these businesses related to dogs and babies, specifically patents for the restraint of babies and behavioral control of dogs. Coincidence? Drake actually had an entire company founded so he could sleep well at night before this dude was even born. But why? Why would Ruben ask his son to make this company himself? Now, like I said, going back to the original post that we were talking about, Drake dedicates Nocta golf collection to his uncle, one of my idols, Stephen Sher. Now, could Drake have dedicated the Nike brand, this golf collection, Nocta, to his uncle, Stephen Sher, because this was the man in his family that became the entrepreneur in the family before Drake? Now, like I said, there's a lot of interesting things to say about Stephen Sher. There's a lot of things to say about his involvement with Drake and being his uncle. I'll save it for a later video, only because I'll save it for a later video because Stephen Sher as a person by himself, besides the whole Nike ordeal, he plays like a kind of like a strange role in Drake's life. I'll talk about Stephen Sher in a whole nother video because he needs his own video that we need to make and discuss about him. But the final news about Drake and Nike that I can find is that Drake and Nike collab in Venezia FC kit deal rescue package. Nocta, the luxury clothing brand created by sportswear giant like Nike and Canadian rap artist Drake, has made its first move into football, becoming the kit supplier for Venezia FC. So this is the last news of Nike and Drake. I'm wondering if it's going to do well. It seems like whatever Drake and Nike have cooking up always seems to fall short. And going back to what Skepta said, and I'm just speaking if I was the owner of $1 billion company, if I missed out on $7 million last year and not even a year later, we're having issues because you're getting called a PDF file by Kendrick Lamar, which really, really messed up the sales. We'll see how we go on the third time. But if the third time, which I guess would be in this football deal that they have, if it messes up here, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're gonna have to talk some things out. We're gonna have to talk, bro. We're gonna have to settle this, figure something out. Because I don't like what's going on when I see. But that's just me if I was the owner of $1 billion company, right? But like I said, Stephen Sher, remember the name. It's going to come up in a future video. I really wanted to talk about the Nike thing though, but the Sher thing, I just had to tap into that because that's what Drake dedicated Nocta for. So we just had to get a glimpse of who's the person, who's the man that he dedicated it to. But I'll explain who he is in a later video. I just make this video to explain that there's been a lot of conflict with Drake and Nike. It's not just the beef. The beef is a main part of it because it didn't really help the sales. But even before that issue with Kendrick Lamar, he already had issues because of theft going on in LA that caused $7 million loss. And then we have Skepta saying, oh, well, this affected like the Nike deals and it's going to scare away. It all just sounds like there's something going on, allegedly. But we'll see what happens because apparently Nike and Drake still have something coming up that was reported on August 12th, 2024 for football. So we'll see what happens. Third time's the charm, I guess. But y'all tell me how y'all feel about this. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. We'll keep it alleged.